Welcome to Compassion's Compass Module 2, Foundation Practice of Mindfulness. As mentioned in the introduction, there are three sets of contemplative skills in the Compass approach for developing compassionate insight. It begins with mindfulness skills to help you focus and calm your reactions so that you can regain equilibrium before starting the core compassion skills. The foundation practice of mindfulness is the second module in this series. There are altogether 11 modules, and each skill builds on the one before it. The reason we start with mindfulness is one huge obstacle to compassion development is burnout. We're all vulnerable to it, especially as times become more complex and more demanding. And so learning what goes into burnout and how to prevent it is a crucial first step for everything else that's going to come. Professional burnout is a progressive state of emotional depletion, detachment, a sense of inadequacy in the face of client needs, and being overwhelmed by agency and client demands. Symptoms include often missing work, late to work, poor client care, incomplete tasks, and general fatigue. There are different ways our bodies and minds react to perceived threats. We have a nerve that runs down the center of the body called the vagal nerve that helps our heartbeat regulate and so forth. When we're relaxed, it's called the ventral vagal mode. We feel safe. It's easy to socialize. It's easy to produce feelings and thoughts of kindness and compassion and so forth. However, if we feel threatened, either psychologically or physically, it can send us into the fight, flight, freeze mode, and that activates our sympathetic nervous system. There's a mechanism called the HPA axis, the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis. And when that's activated, our nervous system sends signals down to the adrenal gland, those are right over the kidney. They start to produce adrenaline and cortisol. That makes our heartbeat faster, gives us strength and acuity to fight off danger or run away. Sometimes it sends us into a freeze state or into a fawn state, particularly, for example, in social interactions. If somebody feels threatened, they may start to smile in a placating way and try to accommodate whoever it is they feel threatened by. That's called fawning. However, if the threat is really overwhelming, it can send us into a dorsal vagal response in which we freeze, shut down, and sometimes even lose consciousness and faint. Occasional bursts of stress and fight-flight responses are useful. It helps us survive. However, if it's triggered again and again, it can produce what's called chronic stress. And the problem is that starts to compromise our digestive systems, our cardiovascular system, our immune system, and our nervous system. Chronic stress and anxiety eventually can contribute and are often associated with depression, which saps our energy, our motivation, disrupts concentration, sleep, appetite, can lead to feeling worthless and or suicidal. Physically, it can cause headaches, fatigue, insomnia, chronic pain, inflammation, risk of heart disease and stroke, digestive issues, loss of libido, worsening of other medical conditions. So for our own well-being and for helping us on the road to compassion development, it's very important to address this up front. The Compass Foundational Mindfulness skills are very useful for helping us manage our stress, our anxiety, working with our depression and other states of mind that may be troublesome to us. They help us find a way to touch in with our equilibrium and our well-being each day. Researchers of mindfulness have found that there are many mental health benefits to having a daily practice. It's been shown to help in reducing stress, increasing positive emotions, predicting relationship satisfaction, helping in preventing depression relapse, enhancing self-regulation, enhancing compassion, and even reducing implicit age and race bias. A regular practice of mindfulness has been shown to increase the thickness of the prefrontal cortex, a part of the brain that helps us focus and regulate our emotions. It improves our ability to concentrate. It enhances cognitive flexibility and processing speed. It reduces negative rumination, focusing on negative things. And it enhances our working memory. Regular mindfulness practice also has many health benefits. It's been shown to help reduce chronic pain, enhancing immune system functioning, reducing craving for smoking, reduction in arteriosclerosis symptoms, improving psoriasis symptoms, and reducing gastrointestinal problems. These are just some of the studies. There are many more than this. Here's a simple way to practice mindfulness. It's called the 4 foundations of mindfulness. Mindfulness of our body, our feelings, our awareness, and the objects of our mind. So if you feel comfortable, you can sit, and it's good to keep a good posture while you practice. First, bringing your attention to your breath as it leaves your nostrils and returns. You don't try to alter your breath. Just notice, is it a short breath or is it a long breath? While you focus on your breathing, also notice your body and how your body's doing. You can scan your body while you breathe. For instance, if you notice any tension in your face muscles, just imagine breathing in well-being, releasing the tension, and letting the tension go out as you breathe out. A lot of people keep tension around their eyes or in the muscles in the jaw. Sometimes people tense the muscles in the back of their neck or head, restricting blood flow. If you're feeling tension in any of those places, just breathe in calm and let the tension go out with your out breath. You can notice any tension in your shoulders, arms, hands, fingers, letting those parts of your body start to relax as you breathe. Notice any tension in your chest, your abdomen, or back, lower back. A lot of people store tension in their lower back or in their stomach area. Let that part of your body start to relax as you breathe. Your legs, feet, toes. Letting your whole body start to relax and regain equilibrium as you breathe. As you're noticing the breath, also notice your feelings and the activities of your mind. Letting your mind start to settle. You can imagine breathing in joy, breathing out your sadness. Letting your mind settle on the present moment. Notice your awareness as you breathe, the clear nature of your awareness. Concentrating on the present moment and the breath. As perceptions and thoughts start to come into your mind, just be aware of them. Notice the impermanent nature of thoughts. If there are disturbing thoughts, just let them dissolve and fade. And keep your main awareness on the present moment. Michelle McDonald, a Western mindfulness instructor, coined the term RAIN, which stands for Recognize, Accept, Investigate, Non-Identify. This principle can help when you're practicing mindfulness. As thoughts and feelings come and go, it's good to recognize them with acceptance. Investigate them with some inquisitiveness, seeing where they came from, or if you can't see where they came from, just noticing them. Not identify means not identifying with them so that the thoughts and feelings don't define you, but rather you can have a perspective of seeing them as reactions that you've had that come and go. Kristen Neff and Chris Germer have studied self-compassion, which is the ability to be caring, kind, and accepting of yourself instead of harsh and critical. It points to our common humanity. We all have our imperfections. Sometimes we fail, sometimes we make mistakes, and we all experience life's challenges. Chris and Neff noticed that self-esteem is conditional and fragile. It's unstable. Like if we think we're particularly exceptional because of some feature we have, we tend to feel disappointed when meeting somebody who excels us in that area. Whereas self-compassion can become enduring and stable over time. It's like, I deserve compassion, so does everybody else. Self-compassion is associated with reduced anxiety and depression, as well as with enhanced self-care and initiative, happiness and optimism, wisdom and ability to cope with adversity, altruism, empathy and improved relationship skills, perspective taking and forgiveness, resilience as a caregiver, acceptance of body image, and an enhanced immune system. People with self-compassion show fewer physical symptoms in general. Peggy DiVincenzo, a mindfulness instructor, friend, and colleague, introduced me to this practice of self-compassion. As you're practicing mindfulness, if you're breathing, recognize with awareness what's happening in the moment. Pause to be with it and give it your full attention. Locate the emotion in your body. Soften, which is physical compassion, finding the emotion in your body. Soothe, which is emotional compassion, bringing kindness and care to what you're feeling. Allow, which is mental compassion, finding words for your experience. I encourage you to keep a daily mindfulness practice as a good ground for developing the garden of compassionate insight. Part of Compass is being an inner gardener, pruning out the cognitive distortions and troubling states that keep you from your compassion and well-being, and planting states of mind and contemplations that help your heart open, your mind become more clear, and are conducive to developing a resilient form of compassion. The great philosopher, psychologist William James said, "My experience is what I agree to attend to. Only those items which I notice shape my mind." So along with mindfulness and self-compassion, it's important to do inner gardening and self-care. Contemplating and focusing on positive states enhances them, which is like cultivating flowers in your mental garden. Seeing through faulty concepts that underlie troubling mental states can help them fade, which is like weeding your mental garden. Part of self-care is setting healthy boundaries. Externally, that can mean if someone starts to take advantage of your compassion, which isn't good for them and it's not good for you, learning how to set appropriate boundaries or walk away. Internally healthy boundaries are staying away from things that are damaging to your health mentally or physically, and cultivating styles of life that help you simplify and focus in on what's important to you. Having a good foundation practice of mindfulness will prepare you for the next step into Module 3, the practice of equanimity. You can learn a lot more about Compassion's Compass by reading the book, and you could also sign up for the free mini course at compassmethods.com.